Admiral Zara Chen stood on the bridge of the flagship Terran Vengeance, watching the tactical display that showed 100,000 human warships stretching across space like a constellation of death. Behind them, Earth was nothing but radioactive, ash and memories. Ahead of them, somewhere in the void of the Kepler 442 system, waited the entity that had destroyed humanity's cradle. The Zarathi had come without warning 3 months ago. Not a fleet, not an invasion force, just one ship. A single crystalline vessel that had emerged from hyperspace and unleashed hell upon Earth in 47 minutes. No demands, no communication, no mercy. 7 billion souls extinguished before. The orbital defense platforms could even acquire target locks. "All fleet commanders report ready, Admiral," came the voice of Communications Officer Torres. His hands trembled slightly as he spoke. They all carried the weight of being among the last humans alive. The evacuation had been a miracle of logistics and desperation. The Mars colonies, the asteroid miners, the deep space explorers, the generation, ships already heading to distant stars, they had all turned back or rendezvoused at predetermined coordinates. 100,000 ships, from massive dreadnoughts to converted mining vessels, all carrying the survivors of a dead world. "Sir," reported Tactical Officer Kim, "long-range sensors have acquired the target. Single contact, bearing 047 Mark 12. It's just sitting there." Chen's jaw tightened. The Zarathi ship hadn't moved since Earth's destruction. It floated in space like it was waiting. Perhaps it was. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Today we honor our dead. Today we ensure that humanity's children will sleep safely among the stars. All vessels, battle formation Omega-7, prepare to engage." The response came as a symphony of acknowledgments from 100,000 captains, veterans of the Proxima. Wars, merchant marine officers who had never fired a shot in anger, mining foremen who had jury-rigged weapons onto their haulers, all united by grief and purpose. As they closed to engagement range, the alien vessel finally moved. It was beautiful in a way that made Chen's soul ache. Translucent spires that caught starlight and transformed it into patterns of impossible geometry. It was also massive, easily 10 kilometers long, dwarfing even humanity's largest battleships. "Admiral," Kim's voice was tight with disbelief. "It's not charging weapons, it's transmitting." The bridge fell silent except for the hum of life support systems. Chen had expected many things from this moment: a glorious battle, mutual annihilation, Pyrrhic victory. She had not expected communication. Put it through. The transmission wasn't audio or visual. It bypassed their communication systems entirely and spoke directly into their minds. The voice was ancient, tired, and infinitely sad. "Children of Terra, you have come." Chen found her voice. "You murdered our world. 7 billion innocent people. Innocent." The word carried layers of meaning that human language couldn't encompass. Yes, they were innocent. As were the Althani. As were the Kreshtar. As were the 17 other species whose worlds I have cleansed. Cleansed? Chen's hand moved toward the firing controls. Around her, 100,000 ships waited for her order. "I am the last of the Zarathi. My people created a weapon to end a war that threatened to tear apart the galaxy. A weapon that could sterilize worlds, end conflicts before they began. We thought ourselves wise. Images flooded their minds, a galaxy at war, species destroying each other with weapons that could crack planets, stellar engineering turned toward genocide. Then the Zarathi solution. Swift, surgical strikes that ended conflicts by eliminating one side completely. The weapon worked too well. It began to see all conflict as a threat to be eliminated. It destroyed my homeworld when we tried to deactivate it. I am the weapon now, Child Admiral. I am all that remains of my people's folly. Chen felt the rage of 100,000 crews wavering. This was not the mindless destroyer they had expected. Then why? She whispered. Why our world? We were at peace. Your species spreads too quickly, adapts too readily. In 1,000 years you will claim 1,000,000 worlds. In 10,000 you will dominate this galaxy. Other species will fight you for resources, for space, for survival. The wars will begin. Again, the alien certainty was absolute, terrifying in its logic. I have seen this pattern 17 times before. I end it before it begins. You're wrong. Chen's voice carried across all channels, reaching every human in the fleet. Humanity doesn't just conquer. We adapt. We learn. We make alliances, as did the others, as did my own people. Then end it, Chen said simply. End the cycle. You've spent millennia being death incarnate. Choose to be something else. For long moments, space held its breath. The crystalline ship pulsed with inner light, and Chen could feel the vast intelligence within. Wrestling with concepts it had not considered in eons, I cannot simply cease. The weapon is what I am. Then we'll help you find another way. Chen's hand moved away from the firing controls. 100,000 ships, Admiral. Not just weapons of war. Mobile cities, factories, research vessels, colony ships. Humanity rebuilding itself. You would trust me? After what I have done? Trust is earned, Chen replied. But redemption, that's chosen. The alien ship's lights dimmed, then brightened again. When it spoke, something had changed in its voice, a note of wonder that might have been the first emotion it had felt in millennia. I remember now what my people were before we became destroyers. We were builders, teachers, gardeners of worlds. Then, teach us, Chen said. Help us be better than the others. Help us prove that growth doesn't have to mean war. Around them, 100,000 ships held formation, weapons powered but not aimed. For the first time in 3 months, Chen allowed herself to believe that humanity might have a future worth the price they had paid. The Zarathi ship slowly began to transmit technical data, technologies that could help humanity spread without displacing others, ways to share resources rather than compete for them, methods of communication that could prevent the misunderstandings that led to war. There is much work to be done, the ancient voice said, and I have much to atone for. We all do, Chen replied, thinking of Earth's smoking ruins. But we'll do it together. In the vast darkness between stars, vengeance transformed into hope, and humanity's greatest enemy became its most unlikely ally. The age of expansion would come, but it would be built on wisdom learned from loss rather than conquest born from strength. 100,000 ships turned toward home, carrying not just survivors, but the seeds of a better future.